Hi everyone, we are Team Xiaomi. Welcome to our video presentation. Have you ever hesitated which smartphone to purchase or thought of switching to another brand of smartphone? It's not uncommon in this competitive industry. In fact, at the start of this year, Samsung won a challenging 2016 and the global market leader Apple saw its iPhone sales dropping in recent years. Amid this competition, we see lower cost models like Xiaomi, Huawei and Oppo entering the market. This video will take you to discover how Xiaomi has become the third largest smartphone maker by shipment volume in less than 5 years since it was founded in 2010 and shipped its first products in 2011, and how it has become one of the world's most valuable technology startups, even edging out Uber.
Xiaomi is a private-owned company founded in 2010 in Beijing, China. After 4 years focused on the Chinese market, in 2014, Xiaomi announced its international expansion into Asian market. Within 5 years, it introduced a lot of consumer electronic products like Xiaomi TV, air purifier, Mi Band, and then power bank, etc. But the most successful products it introduced is the cell phones. Mi series like Mi 4, 4C, right now it's 5, and Mi Note. In 2015, Xiaomi sold over 70 million devices globally, 15% higher than sales of 2014. But a little bit lower than the sales expectation of 80 millions, and it's way below than sales increase from the 2013 to 2014. A sales jump like 227% a year. 70 million devices sold out put Xiaomi ahead of its competitors like Oppo and Lenovo, ranking the third largest smartphone maker by ship volume. The outstanding business attracted a lot of investors globally. In 2014, Xiaomi closed its latest funding for $1.1 billion, which drove the valuation of the company to $45 billion, 10 times than the valuation in 2012.
Now let's look at Xiaomi's customer segment. As you can see, Xiaomi users can be divided into 4 groups, and they are quite price sensitive. It's difficult to earn money from the first 2 categories as they are tasteless users. They are most concerned about cost and not the brand itself. The third category is the most demanding users. They are in pursuit of top performance, and price is secondary to them. Xiaomi is in the need of transforming the first 3 categories of users into loyal fans as soon as possible. With a huge customer base in China, Xiaomi needs to quickly expand internationally by conquering Asian markets with lowest price and highest quality phones.
Xiaomi's success can be attributed to their competencies in 3 main areas. First, Xiaomi knows how to engage their users at every step of the product innovation process. Xiaomi's first product is not the phone, but the operating system, MIUI. They engage their users on a weekly basis via MIUI forums to identify potential requirements for the next release. Requirements that have high demand will move fast through the development cycle, sometimes getting released within a week. With more than 10 million registered users and 100,000 daily posts, MIUI is probably the most extensive and continuous crowd-driven product development process in the world. By following this process, Xiaomi is able to build products that users want and also create a high level of awareness and empowerment for its users, turning users into fans of the company. Second, Xiaomi has mastered the art of marketing through online channels. Popular Chinese social media websites such as Weibo and WeChat are used for public announcements of product launches, features, and functions. Xiaomi sells their products through online pre-orders, which is available in limited quantities on every Tuesday, and this perceived scarcity generates a lot of demand among the customers. Xiaomi also uses a different approach to tackle customer service. Customers with questions on their products can make use of Xiaomi's online communities to get help from other users and employees of Xiaomi. Employing the new media channels in their communications have allowed Xiaomi to control their messaging to the users and ensure that there is a direct interaction with end users across all teams in the company, leading to better understanding of the users. Lastly, Xiaomi is able to produce high-end quality products and sell it at a much cheaper price than their competitors. Xiaomi hires some of the best engineers and designers in China to develop high-quality products which are sold only through online channels. This means that they were able to eliminate the large percent cut that distributors and retailers typically get and use the profits generated from accessories and web applications to cross-subsidize the profits for the phones. In addition, Xiaomi also practices just-in-time production for their manufacturing operations by producing enough phones based on the assured demand, and when coupled with the low advertising cost, Xiaomi was able to further drive down their cost.
The competition in this industry is very intense and almost brutal. Xiaomi not only faces threats from huge competitors such as Apple and Samsung, but also many other companies such as Lenovo, Huawei, and other technology companies who have seen the tremendous market potential. Huawei, for example, the Chinese tech giant that produces smartphones in addition to network equipment, sharing similar portfolio of smartphones with Xiaomi, became the top sellers of smartphones in China for the first time during the last quarter in 2015.
The price is absolutely important because by an Apple phone you can buy 5 Xiaomi, and the design is also important. Like girls, you need to hold a phone that looks like a girl's phone, not a male's phone.
Check the operating system because I'm really pro Android.
I choose Xiaomi because it's cheap.
I think Xiaomi had the best value for money. At the same time, the reviews in CNET and all the other places were great.
Xiaomi is not only cheap but also good to use.
Based on a survey of 29 people on their perception of smartphones, we noted that Xiaomi is regarded as a low price, acceptable design, and a product without good after-sales service. Their direct competitors, Oppo and Huawei, though regarded as slightly higher priced than Xiaomi, are considered to have a better after-sales service. This indicates that Xiaomi must focus on making customers aware of its after-sales service and quality. Lastly, you can see how Apple and Samsung, the relatively higher priced products, are regarded as having a much better design and tech specs.
Domestically, the smartphone market in China has saturated. The growth of China's smartphone industry has remained flat throughout the year, and quarterly shipments declined from 98.8 million units in first quarter 2015 to 97 million units in third quarter 2015. Xiaomi is also facing a slowing growth in India's growing market. This is mainly due to Xiaomi's limited manufacturing capacity and hence could not scale its production, allowing other strong competitors to take over the market segment created by Xiaomi. The company managed to create enough of buzz in the market, but failed to close the gap between demand and supply. Another problem that Xiaomi may face if it sells its smartphones in countries with strong IP laws like the US is licensing problems and lawsuits. Xiaomi doesn't just copy Apple, it also used copyrighted photos in its marketing. It gets away with this in China, but it won't get away with it in countries with stronger IP laws. If Apple could win in court against Samsung, then Xiaomi has very little chance. The cost of licensing patents and fighting lawsuits has the potential to take a huge bite out of Xiaomi's bottom line, and it doesn't have deep pockets like Apple or Samsung. Besides, depending only on online for marketing will not work outside China. Xiaomi's business model is to sell devices directly to consumers online. It's a model that's accepted in many markets, but some markets like Europe and Singapore is still dominated by carriers and long-term contract deals, where 80% of sales are through network carriers. Also, Xiaomi has a loyal fan base and active forum users in China, but does not have these large numbers overseas.
In 2015, the global smartphone industry penetration was at 41%. Penetration levels are at 70% in developed markets. As you can see in the table, Latin America, India, Indonesia, and Africa are the untapped markets with growing potential. The outlook for 2017 shows how India and Brazil are the major markets driving growth in global smartphone industry in the future. Keeping these factors and Xiaomi's challenges as discussed before in mind, we propose 4 focus areas for Xiaomi's future. Number 1. Geographical expansion, focus on emerging markets. First recommendation for Xiaomi's expansion is to concentrate on expanding in India, Brazil, and Indonesia for the next 5 to 6 years. We propose to focus on 4 key areas to capture these markets. Number 1. Distribution channel. To maintain low costs, the company has partnered with Snapdeal and Amazon, the major e-commerce giants in India, under an exclusive distribution agreement. This model should be replicated in Brazil and Indonesia as well. However, only 10% and 15% of smartphone purchases are made via online stores in India and Brazil respectively. To tackle this, the company can partner with Airtel and other local network carriers to not only distribute via physical stores but also via long-term contracts with these telecom providers. Number 2. Service centers. Recently, Xiaomi has partnered with HCL in India for service centers to ramp up their after-sales services. This reduces the initial capital outlay required to set up physical service centers. The company should enter into partnerships with well-known brands in these countries to provide after-sales facilities. Number 3. Marketing. Since these are new geographies that do not use the social media platforms such as WeChat, which are the main factor for Xiaomi's success in China, the company will need to do direct advertising to consumers to educate them on how to get a feel of the devices from the HCL stores and purchase them online. This is a one-time investment the company will encounter for product launches and creating awareness. In addition, they should also collaborate with influential bloggers and target social media to provide product reviews to attract new customers. Our second recommendation is product diversification. As discussed before, the global smartphone market is slowly saturating. Hence, Xiaomi should not keep all its eggs in one basket. Xiaomi recently carved out a niche in the home devices and wearable categories in a bid to diversify its revenue stream. Xiaomi's market share growth was up more than 800% in the wearable market segment. These devices should be marketed heavily in countries which have already reached a high level of penetration in the smartphone segment, such as in Europe. Our third recommendation is to focus on customer experience. Providing a high level of customer experience is very important to create a loyal customer base. Xiaomi must incentivize MIUI app developers by providing bonuses for popular app usage. It is also important to localize and translate MIUI so that it attracts customers globally. Our fourth and final recommendation is manufacturing capacity. As explained by Michelle earlier, Xiaomi was unable to meet its demand in India, giving way to other competitors to capture the market created by Xiaomi. Hence, it is important to set up manufacturing facilities in India, Indonesia, and Brazil to beat the competition.
Where can we get this kind of casing for our Mi 3?
I got it on me.com in China. Coming soon to Singapore.